Think beyond traditional business banking. Think a partner that gives you in-depth financial insights.
Businesses are changing. More women and a gender-diversified management team are yielding results. It's showcasing more talent, skills, and creativity than before. But recent surveys warn moves to improve gender equality in the workplace are too slow. On the next episode of Business Matters, we look at why it's important for even the smallest players to embrace diversity. Zizi, thanks very much indeed for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, the fact that we only have 7 female CEOs on the JSE's top listed companies, I'm wondering whether that's a reflection and a symptom of the gender inequalities in businesses down the corporate ladder, and then eventually it finds itself on the top.
It's taking companies longer to transform and to want to diversify. At the lower levels, management teams, the board of directors don't have enough female representation. And what's happening at the JSE definitely does reflect what's happening at the bottom. I think companies are just not buying into the value that women bring into businesses. They're taking longer to buy into that. And I think, to be honest with you, it does start at board level, because a board that has enough female representation, that's more diversified, is more willing to want to appoint female CEOs.
When you realize that women leaders in business bring creativity, ultimately bring profitability, you will realize that it's more than just inclusion, isn't it? It's actually beefing up the business.
Based on our experience having funded female-owned businesses, the businesses do tend to perform better financially. They pay us back. Female owners are more focused and driven, and they're more willing to want to give people a chance. The way they recruit, their management teams as well are more diversified.
It's amazing, though, that the moment you put a woman in a startup, already from day one, she's the boss, right?
Yes.
But it's not very easy, according to studies, for a woman to get funding to begin with that startup for starters, compared to a man. So therein you have your initial challenge.
There's a lot of reasons. The first one is that, for instance, applications are not coming in as much as they should. And I think it's just a symptom of socialization. Women tend to want to take less risks. They're not as aggressive, and they're not as willing to put themselves out there to take the risks. On the other hand, you've got obviously the gender bias. How many funds are there out there that are targeting female-owned businesses? So the fund that would be targeting female-owned businesses would obviously have the structures, the support structures that would receive these applications and walk the process with the entrepreneur. But maybe, the other institutions don't have those structures. And so when the women do send the applications through, they don't get as much support.
There would be small businesses and medium-sized businesses watching this and thinking,
yes,
well, I want the inertia, I want to make the initiative and get my gender diversity going, even if I've just got 10 people there.
Yes.
What's the best step to start?
I mean, if you want to transform as a business, you want to give people a chance, just the way you recruit and you promote, it does take a while, but you need to transform at management level, and you hope that all of that trickles down. Your structures have to be transformed. They have to have female representation, and all of that will eventually trickle down to the lower levels.
So when we reconcile and we look at the research, it does show that a diversified work structure, gender-wise, does bring in a better business, more skills, more talent, and at the end of the day, more profitability. Are we a long way to go to get that realization by businesses across the board?
It's still taking us a bit longer. The resistance is still there. I think it's because we need enough companies and enough maybe men at the top to buy into the value. It's understanding that, having female representation doesn't necessarily take away from anyone else. It adds this value being added, being brought in by women.
This program is in partnership with Nedbank Commercial Banking, a banking partner that thinks bigger to guide your business growth.